For me, it's the crowns. It is the legacy. What am I leaving behind with, every morning I pray that the Lord leads me to his people and he aligns me for his assignment.
Hey, Tom family. Happy Friday to all. I'm excited today because I get the opportunity to speak with Amanda Benton. For some of you who have not had the privilege of meeting Amanda, she is our branch manager in Crowley and just a few short miles away from me over here in Aledo. And unfortunately, we don't get to see each other as much as we'd like, but she continues to just do wonderful things out in the Crowley community and serving that community, and her husband serving the Lord. And we're just blessed to have Amanda. Amanda, welcome.
Woo-woo! Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, how long have you been with Trinity Oaks Mortgage?
Almost 3 years. My anniversary is actually coming up on the 26th.
Oh, good. I'll make sure and send out a great big celebration note.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited.
So let's kind of bounce around a little bit. I want to learn all about you, but most importantly, I want the Tom family and the community to learn about Amanda. So, what is your greatest career accomplishment?
Man, that's a really hard question, because there are so many that it's like, what's the greatest? It's really hard to pick just one. I feel like for me, like probably it's coming here. That was when my world changed. I've done this for 21 years, maybe 22. And everywhere I've been, I've always worked for all the big banks. I've worked for Wells, Chase, Bank of America, Capital One, Citi. But I was never able to, it was like living a double life, when you went to work, it was almost politically correct. And then you go home and then you have a home life. And since I've been here, my world is it is like night and day. It is like family here, within my own space, but also with the company as well. It was really starting Tom. And I used to actually pray every time I would pass the John Houston sign that is at the end of my street of my house. Every time I would pass it, I was like, man, I'm going to work with that guy one day. And the Lord literally brought me right here.
Yeah, I always, I try to, every chance I get, because people ask the same thing is, what brought you there? And obviously God brought me here, but for the first time in my life because I worked for some of those big places, right? Those big brand names, and,
right.
Having an equally yoked personal and business life is so unheard of for a Christian walk. And, John and Tracy afford that opportunity for us to be safe in our walk with Christ. And so it's just an honor. I agree with you. This is an amazing place, both professionally and personally. So tell me about so that's how you got here. That's you being a part of this family. But tell me about a big mistake that, has occurred in your life, how you dealt with it, and really what you learned from that experience.
Well, I've made a lot of them, and I think I've learned more from my mistakes than I do from not. Probably one of the big ones that stands out was last year. We have a lot of people that are always coming in and trying to, bring cookies or lunch or whatever, right? Because I got a big real estate team around me also. And our title company brought in lunch one day, and I was like the last one to get in there and eat. So they were already eating. We had a room full of people, and I ran in there, hurried up and grabbed me a plate, and then my phone rang as soon as and I've been waiting for this call and expecting this call, but it rang like as soon as I put some food in my mouth, right? And I tried to hurry up and swallow and get the call because I didn't want to miss this guy. And I like choked so bad, like they
Oh,
had to do Heimlich maneuver on me, like I turned blue, like
my gosh.
it was like a scary experience too. And you know, that was the scary part with it. But you know, obviously I made it through or whatever. And then I called my husband like as soon as it happened, and I'm like, babe, um, I almost died today. I just want to tell you I love you, that kind of thing. And he's like, he's not like, how are you? Are you okay? I didn't get any of that kind of response. His initial response was, who prayed over the food? And I was like, I was the last one in to eat. I really, it hadn't crossed my mind yet. I'm still getting
Yeah.
over the experience of
Yeah.
joking, right? And he's like, who prayed over the food? And then he literally makes me put him on speaker and like do a video call. And he makes me go around and ask who prayed over the food. And everybody, like we just had the the title company introduced them. No one had actually prayed over the food. And he immediately went into prayer and rebuked, the experience and all this stuff. And
Yep.
thank you for our meal. And I was like, I was just repenting right then. And then, my husband, I have an irritating way of being right. And I'm like, of course you do. So
You know
how
what?
you
I
been
love
living?
your husband. He's a good
I,
man of God.
I pray now for sure.
That
Every time.
is that is good stuff. So, yeah, I believe we can all learn something there. God is good to us, not just for a few minutes in the morning and a few minutes before we go to bed. He's good throughout the day, and we need to be thanking Him, especially when it comes to sitting down and having a meal. So that's great. Um, how do you evaluate success in your life?
Man. Um, for me, it's the crowns. It is the legacy. What am I leaving behind with, every morning I pray that the Lord leads me to his people and he aligns me for his assignment.
Mhm.
And every day, like I walked into this office 2 days ago and I had so many things planned for my day. And I had 3 people in the waiting room that was not expecting. Um,
Mhm.
it was the whole day like that. I had people come in to see me that were not planned from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9:30 that night. I was all day long. And it's just, what kind of legacy am I leaving with every person? For me, success, the money with this career, a lot of people measure their success by
Yeah.
money. And I just feel like that is like a bonus. It's a side effect to what we get to do.
Yep.
And we get to bless others,
Yep.
through our walk. But for me, it truly is, it's, it, what kind of impact am I making?
Yeah. That's a good reminder because, um, you know, I know we never like to have to go to funerals but when you start to hear about the legacy that people left, I always take inventory at that point, start to see, okay, how am I making a difference in people's lives? What value am I injecting into their lives versus, life giving versus life taking? And so it's good, Amanda. That's a good way to think about it. So tell me about a time where you went over and above the call of duty to get the job done.
Well, I do it every day, I would have to say,
Hmm.
but
That's
um,
right.
probably the one that sticks out is last month at month end, which feels like it was yesterday because our time goes by so fast in this career. Last month, like the day before closing, I always call and pre-close all my buyers and make sure that they know all the important stuff that they should know before they ever walk in the door. Call pre-closer, pump her up, get her excited, never know if the title company's going to let you go to a closing anymore. So,
That's right.
I get them all cheered up and ready to go. Get off the phone, everything's good. And she's an executive at a large company. Hour later, this is the day before the last day of the month to close. Hour later, we get a hit that they opened up a new account.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Okay. And I call and ask about it, and she did not know anything about it. And she calls her husband on three-way and puts him into the call, and he was like, I only called to be ready to buy the fridge for after the closing, but not, I didn't do anything wrong, Amanda. And I was like, oh, I wish it was that easy. So,
Yeah.
we actually, this is the beautiful part of our job here and our career here, that we went into prayer immediately.
Good for you.
Lord, make a way. Her house was already going to be rented. Like, she was already in temporary housing.
Wheels were in motion. Yeah.
Stuff in U-Haul, the whole bit. And she 3 hours later, she's on the phone trying to get an account number so we can get a credit supplement to get her credit updated. And no bueno. And she calls me back in tears, doesn't know what she's going to do. It's working on 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this point. And I'm like, this is not looking so good. And the Lord hit me. I used to work for that bank, and I know a guy.
Wow.
And she
not
could
what you know, not what you know.
Okay. And she could not get her own account number. I was like, I just need the account number. And so I called my friend and I got what I needed, and we were able to get her credit updated with all 3 agencies, get it back, get it signed off on. Our underwriting team and my processor, Laura Glenn and Erica, it just couldn't have worked out any better. We didn't skip a beat. We didn't change our closing time. We all looked like rock stars, and
awesome.
It was showing up and showing off is exactly what just happened. I think it was one of them moments where the Lord winks at you and says, yeah, I still got it.
I love those moments. Those are some of the best.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really good segue to my final question for you. You could write a book about your life. What would the title be and why?
It's funny that you're asking that. We, in my office and even at my church, we always do kind of goals for the year. And that was one of the things that we had said this year is like, if you had a book, what would it be? And I've actually added a little bit to mine since then. But I started this year with treat them with honor. And, as the years went on, and don't give up, never give up. Because sometimes you do have to keep treating them with honor, even whenever your mind, your flesh tells you, even when you have to fight it. But, everything we go through is our history is really his story. And it's, treating them with honor. Like I remember that every day, because it's every day. It's just what do you got in store for me today, Lord?
It's a good way to live life right there.
Yeah.
I would love for that to spread like wildfire. And
it's actually my shirt. You see?
Love it. Yes. Not on my watch.
Not on my watch, buddy.
It's great. Well,
Ministry.
is it really? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what we do. We give with every loan that I do. We give to the Answer International.
That's right.
And it's, we are the answer. And
Right, the hands and the feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
Good stuff.
Well, I see that you have a little Valentine's Day there, it looks like. So happy early Valentine's Day. That's what it
Yeah.
at least looks like. So you and John enjoy that time together. And Amanda, thank you. Thank you for doing this with me, but also just thank you for loving the Lord. Thank you for loving the Tom family, the JH family of companies. And I'm just excited for what God has in store for you and what God has in store for this company. We just need to keep trusting in everything He's got in store, and everything will just be fine. So,
Every day, man.
all right. Thank you, Amanda. Take
And
care.
happy Valentine's to you too and the team.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
y'all come out to Crowley anytime.
Come on. Come west.
Yes.
Take care.